ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि Om. Today is a very, very special day. It's Maha Shivarathri. And to highlight these very special occasions and to point out certain important aspects of Shivarathri, firstly, we take cognizance that there are many Shivarathris. In other words, there are 11 Shivarathris, which is minor Shivarathris, called Mass Shivarathri, that comes every month, a day before the new moon. This particular Shivarathri is called Maha Shivarathri and comes in this month of Falgun, also a day before the new moon. Now when we're looking at Shivarathri as such, it is a festival, it is a religious function that is taking place at night. Unlike the other celebrations that we have which takes place during the day, like Ram Navami for that matter. But here with Shivarathri, the word Ratri itself indicates this much, that it is a night-long function. In other words, on this particular night, the most important thing to note is to be vigil. It is a night to be totally awake. One should not fall off to sleep. One should not go to sleep. One should be awake, and awakefulness comes in here to be thoughtful of God. That is the awakefulness. So the worship continues from 6 in the evening to 6 o'clock the next morning. And it is called Char Prahar. Char Prahar means there are 4 intervals during this time of the worship. The 4 intervals comprised in 3 hours intervals. In other words, from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock will be the first session. Then from 9 to midnight, 12 o'clock will be the second session. From 12 o'clock night to 3 in the morning, the third session. And the last session, of course, from 3 to 6. This makes up the 12 hour. And mind you, it is not easy that I'm talking about. It is very easy to talk, but when one is sitting, one realizes the pain one goes through because it is not a daily recurrence. But one night of the year, the Lord has asked us to make this sacrifice. And he who makes such sacrifice, mind you, has the maximum benefit as well. So the sacrifice goes with the fruit, and when it is performed perfectly, one finds the benefits to such sacrifices. Before I commence with the aspects of the ritual worships, etc., let's see what the night itself means. So Ratri, on this particular night, mind you, it is a night of absolute darkness, because Amavasya, that is the darkest night, is coming forth. So when one looks at darkness, here it is described as Dvait ki apratiti in Hindi. Dvait is duality and apratiti is the non-vision of whatsoever. So on this particular night, you will find there is the perception of nothing. One sees absolutely nothing. Place yourself in the absolute darkness and see what you see. You will see nothing because it is absolute darkness. The only thing that you will be seeing is darkness. Now, in this aspect of darkness, there is an awakening of consciousness. So the worship of Lord Shiva, you will find, comprises the two aspects. Two aspects being one the relative and the other the absolute. It's called Sagun Upasana and Nirgun Upasana. Now you have the images of Lord Shiva. With the Sagun aspect, where relativities will come in, the aspect of duality that would come in, my Lord, you are there, I am here. This is the aspect of duality. But the ultimate result of a worship will be unification, that is yoga, to unite with the Absolute. So even in Sagun Upasana, so in the Sagun Upasana, what is happening is the worship takes place on the Murti, the image of Lord Shiva. Then in the Nirgun aspect of it, where now I am taking the philosophical setup with the religion, I'm getting into a higher state. Here the worship takes place on the Shiva Linga. One is with the Murti, the other is with the Shiva Linga. Now if you take a Linga and deliberate on the Linga, the Sanskrit term in describing the Linga is wonderful. Linam artham gamayati iti lingam. In other words, into which everything is contained is called a linga. So immediately when you look at a Shiva Linga, it is taking you to the highest esteem on religious value, because in this everything is contained. There is no limitations. My Lord, you are there and I am here. I am included in you. Everything is included in. So if you take a Shivaling, you could, if you want to, chisel out any image you want to from the Shivalinga, because it is contained in it. But if you take an image of Lord Shiva, a Murti, you can't re-chisel from that Murti into another image, is that of Krishna or Ram or Hanuman, etc. But from the Shivaling you can do as you would want to. So every aspect of Godhead is contained in the Linga. So the worship then now takes place in the Linga, and we begin to look at life in its philosophical setup. What are the purposes here? Why am I worshipping? What are the results in my puja to Lord Shiva? So you'll find kirtans and bhajans are going on, our recitals of the stotras are going on, worship is going on at one stage, and then you'll find talks, etc. that are taking place. This is a number of events. Of course, with this, people go deeper into in fasting for the day, they're observing religious situations of vows. I'm going to fast for so many hours, I'm not going to eat and drink, etc. These are all control of the mind and the senses of the individual. So sisters and brothers, on a night like this, we are looking forward to this beautiful night, to be absorbed totally in it, to glorify the Lord, and may His blessings, His grace abundantly be on each and every one of you for this kind of a realization that you are someone very, very, very special. You are His child. God's grace and blessings to each and every one of you.